Oh, it's top tier trophy.
All right, so next we're going to go right into our top 25 on our college football preview here. We put out our top 25, which was our 3 polls averaged out. But each of us kind of has our own personal list of the top 25. I think all of us kind of unanimously had Alabama, Ohio State, and Georgia 1, 2, 3, if I'm right. But who's a team on here that you guys ranked that you think you're a little bit higher on than most people, or maybe a team that you're lower on than most people that would kind of stick out?
I mean, I will say I did my rankings based off how I think like the committee will rank them in week 1, not like my personal feelings. So, I mean, I guess on my list that I have kind of low. I mean, Cincinnati just went to the playoff last year, and I have them ranked at number 22, but they did lose a lot of people. But I think Luke Fickell's a good enough coach to keep them up there. And, I mean, to be fair, they still play in the American Conference, so they got to play Houston, Tulsa, but I think that they can still be a top 15 team throughout the year.
Cincinnati, Arkansas is going to be a heck of an early season game. I think it will be very, very telling for how the season goes for both teams.
Another person I have kind of low ranked or high ranked, I guess, is I have Texas A&M at 6, which I think that we all know they're going to end up around the 20s. Once they have their 4th loss of the season, they'll hang a banner for whatever ACC team wins the championship. They'll hang a banner for them. So I'm pretty sure they already have the recruiting national championship banner on the way.
Oh, they've already got their rings for
They're
that.
They're going to hang on to that one for as long as possible.
We're number 1.
Number 1 recruiting class.
We didn't pay them.
It's the only thing they'll ever be number 1.
Yeah, dude. Oh, can you imagine if they just put national champions 2022 recruiting class? It said recruiting class under it, like on the bowl around the stadium. It said 2022 recruiting class.
I just can't believe they hired Jimbo and just gave him a trophy. That was one of the more shocking things I've ever seen. University.
Oh, when he got hired.
20 blank. Yeah, you're never gonna get one, A&M. You're never. It's not gonna happen. No.
Hey, I commend him for trying.
I guess, but I would understand more if it was like Alabama, like Nick Saban retires, if they do it because they win some, and it makes more sense. But I mean, A&M hasn't done anything besides have Johnny Manziel, and that's about it.
I mean, they've had more success in the SEC than they have in the Big 12.
Cool, good for them. But I mean, it's just they're not getting past the big boys. They're not.
They'll always be stuck at mediocrity, I think. But I mean, if they're going to do anything this year, it's going to be this year. I mean,
I put A&M at 16, where they belong. They belong under the 15 spot. That is just prime 8-4 area. I mean, I'm looking at my list here. I think I kind of am underestimating Kentucky this year a little bit. I think Kentucky's going to be pretty good. But I
did not rank Kentucky.
I also I think I have 4 Big 12 teams in the top 15 right now. Yeah. I have OU at 8, Baylor 10, OSU at 12, and Texas at 13. We'll see how that works out. Texas will probably fall off. That's how it's been for the last 10 years. But, yeah, we'll see. Those are my only ones that could kind of... I also have USC at 19 because it is insane to put a 4-8 team in the top 10. It's ridiculous. I don't care who gets added to the team. That is ridiculous to throw them in the top 10 solely off of coach coming.
Texas, though. It's kind of the same thing in Texas. It's going to be pretty much completely different.
But at least Texas is within the last 5 years, 2017 they were 10-2 or whatever.
10-4, but yeah.
Whatever it was. But USC hasn't had a year like that in however long. But they had Sam Darnold as quarterback at one point. Sam fucking Darnold. I don't
Darnold
care.
Dawson College.
They went to the Rose Bowl that one year. I think they beat Penn State.
They beat Penn State in the Rose Bowl that year, yeah. They were good that year.
They were good that year. So the teams I have on here that I think I might be a little bit higher on than most people is Houston. I have Houston at 24. I think they're basically returning almost everyone from a team that went 11-2 last season. Granted, it was the American, but they have some electric playmakers. A veteran quarterback, Daniel Holgerson's been there for quite a while. I think they're going to be pretty good. I've got Miami at 19, and Miami to me is the one I have on here that has the biggest ability to rise. Mario Cristobal is kind of proven he's a good coach and probably a better recruiter. I do worry, though, that they have a really good quarterback, but Cristobal has always kind of been known to just run the ball a lot, and I'm not sure that they'll be able to stick with the pass, even though that might be their strong suit on offense. I've got A&M at 12. We talked about A&M. I've got Arkansas at 13. Baylor at 11. NC State at 10. I got Utah at 9. I ranked Utah at 9 just because I couldn't see putting NC State or Baylor over them. But I don't think Utah is going to have a good season. I think they're going to have a good season, fine season. But they have so much hype in the Pac-12. And Utah, to me, is still a team that last year lost to BYU and San Diego State.
Hey, don't sleep on BYU.
I mean, yes.
Do not sleep on the Cougars this year. That's all I'm saying.
Granted, yes, don't. So I also have BYU at 23 here, so I'm high on BYU as well. But I feel like we're doing Utah a disservice by rating them so high right now and ranking them in the top 5 or top 6. This is not a playoff team. It's not. And as much as we want to make them out to be, Ohio State last year struggled, on defense. Utah could not stop Ohio State. They had no chance to stop Ohio State. 0 in the Rose Bowl. Ohio State defensively struggled against almost anybody with a pulse. So, for me to take that into account, Oregon beat Ohio State, so did Michigan. Nebraska almost beat Ohio State. If the only thing I'm basing Utah on being good is beating Ohio State last year, I just don't think that's the thing. I don't think that that's something to base that off of.
Is our quarterback still Cam Rising?
Yeah. Transferred from Texas. I mean, I'm not telling you Utah's going to be bad. I think they're going to finish the year ranked. But to tell me that it's a playoff team, it's not. It's just not. And neither is Notre Dame. That's the other one. Notre Dame is not a playoff team. I've watched Notre Dame in the 3rd or 4th row in the Fiesta Bowl. Notre Dame is talented, a good team. They're a top 10 program, great program nationally, very relevant, obviously. It's not a playoff team this year. Jack Cohn was very productive, a strong quarterback, I would say. In my opinion, last year was very, pretty good, above average. Was in every single game. So that's all you can ask from a quarterback. They're replacing him with Tyler Buckner, most likely. Not sure I'm high on him. Michael Mayer is the real deal at tight end. He's insane. But to me, it's just you're losing 2 or 3 of your best players at Notre Dame, and I think they're going to be fine with Marcus Freeman and be good because he recruits at a high level, but those recruits aren't there yet. So I think Notre Dame, it's not a playoff team. But I think they're still a top 10 team. So I've got them at 5, but I had them outside the playoff. Who else here? Texas at 15. I just think they have too much talent to rank them too low. And then I've got Tennessee at 25. It was either Tennessee or Kentucky at 25, and I chose the Volunteers. What do you guys think about Penn State or Wisconsin this year?
I have Wisconsin ranked number 16 because I don't know who the running back is, but I'm sure they'll probably run for 2,000 yards like every other Wisconsin running back does.
They produce running backs like no other. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
Plus, they'll have a big corn-fed offensive line now. Make a truck-size hole for the running back.
That's the whole Big Ten West, man. They have so much corn in that area of the country. It is one of those things where it may be overstated. Every time you think of Iowa or Wisconsin, you think, oh, corn, or Nebraska, especially Nebraska, the corn mastery. But when you drive through those places, you're like, oh, it's not. It's not overstated. There is always corn. You look to your left, right, center. Look center, right, left. You see corn.
We'll see how good Wisconsin can be this year based off their quarterback play.
Yeah.
Graham Mertz can step in.
I have faith in them. I have them at 17. One of my really good buddies actually grew up with Graham Mertz, and I've talked to him on the phone before just to do it. And he seems like a good guy. He had that insane start. The first 5 games of the season last year, he was dominant. But then he got hit a couple times by some real teams and kind of showed him what college football is really about. But we will see. Yeah, Wisconsin, they're always solid, but I just don't see them being anything other than solid. I really don't.
I didn't rank Penn State. That was one of the teams that was really close. Them and Kentucky were 26 and 27. Also had Iowa pretty close to, I think they were 28, 29. None of those teams to me is a team that can really sneak up into the top 10 or so. That's just my opinion. Now, Penn State, their schedule is really tough. So they're losing Jaquan Brisker, Jahan Dotson, they're kind of the best player on offense, best player on defense, and I just don't believe in Sean Clifford, so sue me.
Fair thing to bet on.
Yeah, I don't believe him either, but I do believe that Iowa and Penn State will both be ranked at some point during the season, but they will not finish ranked.
Yeah, that's kind of how I see it as well. I think you could have put Kentucky in here. I could have put Kentucky in here. Another team I'd like to talk about is Pitt. So I have Pitt at 22. Pitt is a completely new team from last year. I wish that Jordan Addison played at Pittsburgh still. That would be way more correct to me. But, so Pitt at 22 is interesting. So what do you guys think about Pittsburgh this year?
Go ahead,
I mean, I have them at number 23, but there's a big question mark because it is really tough losing Kenny Pickett and the Blitnikoff winner in the same offseason. But I mean, also it's a very weak ACC once again, so you'll see they'll get their 8-9 wins against the shitters of the ACC, but once it comes to like playing NC State and Clemson and Wake Forest, those will be some tough games for them. So I mean, I think they'll finish the season right around 23.
All right. Well, that's our top 25. We might as well mention Oklahoma and Oklahoma State. Also Michigan. I have Michigan at 6, right behind Notre Dame. We've got Oklahoma State behind Michigan, then Oklahoma. It's not that I don't think Oklahoma might beat Oklahoma State. It's just that I think Oklahoma State returns a lot of talent. And also we were pretty dang good last year, and I don't see us changing from being a very good team. So I have them high, but that's just a little bit biased. And then, so where did you guys have Oklahoma and Oklahoma State?
I have OU ranked at number 9, right behind Michigan at 8 and Utah at 7. Then I got Oklahoma State at 11, right behind NC State at 10, and then right above Texas at number 12. But again, I base this off how I think that the committee will rank, like the AP committee will rank the teams, not like my personal
Mine
beliefs.
is more biased, 100%. I have OU at 8, behind Michigan and Utah as well. And then I have Baylor at 10. Because, I mean, they just won the Big 12. They're going to be – Dave Aranda's a good coach. We'll see. And I put OK State at 12 because, I mean,